Bro, it's 5 in the morning. What are you waking me up for? I just watched all the press conferences this year. They were just okay. What about the Sonic one? It sucked a little more this year. Why would I care? I only have one video game, and it's Snoopy's Adventure. Yeah, I know. They announced shirts. Yeah, I didn't even know it was possible. I didn't even know they were still making shirts.
E3 2022 doesn't exist.
You woke me up for that. Shut up.
Well, you know what does exist?
E3 2022.
You see, E3 2022 got cancelled, but we basically have the same lineup, the big three, a wrap of numerous things at the Summer Games Fest, or Sonic Central, Capcom, some small ones like that. So basically, this is an E3 lineup, just without a proper full list lumping it all into E3. But it's still kind of E3. So yeah, that's why I would consider this the E3 without E3, and technically you can also consider 2020 the same thing, but it didn't have Nintendo or Sony, and really only Microsoft at Summer Games Fest. So yeah, first up is Sony. This is really the first time in a while we've seen something from them in the time of E3, but still it's not really E3, but it's still kind of the first time in a while. I honestly don't know if E3 like officially happened this year. We still would have had Sony do a state of play, but we did this year, so I'm not complaining. Now let's get something out of the way. I do not have a PlayStation 4 or 5, so I can't really get excited for all the exclusives. I may say they're cool, but I full well know I'm not gonna be able to play them. First off, the RE4 remake has actually been announced, and the original is kind of been on my radar, but I guess seeing a little bit of a remake is definitely a good thing. We just don't know much about it yet, so I don't know, it might change a lot from the original, and it may piss off a few more people. 4 is very heavily regarded as one of the best in the series, while with 1, 2, and 3, there aren't as many strong feelings for those games, so the changes may not hit people as hard. But with 4, who knows? This game may be polarizing, but we'll have to see. Now we get a bit of a peek of what's coming to PlayStation VR 2. Resident Evil Village, okay, I guess this is pretty obvious because the game is already in first person, so this is pretty much a given. Some Walking Dead game, No Man's Sky, this looks actually kind of cool, and it would probably be very fun in VR. Horizon VR, I mean, I would comment on this, but I don't know much about Horizon, but this may be cool. Spider-Man PS4 Remastered coming to PC. Sony is very serious about these PC ports recently, and Spider-Man PS4 is a great one to add to the list. I'd love to play this, but I have a lack of this. Does this count? But I don't know if it'll work on my laptop, because if I tried, it would probably make my laptop catch on fire. Stray, a game made by Annapurna, which are the developers or publishers of games such as Donut County or Outer Wilds. And I keep wanting to play games like 12 minutes made by them, but I just never do, but hopefully I can remind myself one day. What was I talking about? Callisto Protocol, some zombie type game? It looks okay, not personally my thing. Rollerdrome is a roller skating shooter game, and that's a concept that I never really thought would be compelling, but oddly enough, this looks really cool. Especially with its comic book type art style, which I know has probably been run to the ground with stuff like Borderlands and such, but it looks good still. Enter Knights is basically the anime-looking action RPG, personally not my thing. I mean, anime games in general aren't really compelling to me, probably because I'm not that big a fan of anime to begin with, but I may be part of the minority here. I like anime, what the heck? I did say I might be part of the minority here. It's also a dating simulator, which I'm also not a fan of. I like those too. I said I might be part of the minority. Street Fighter 6, I've never played a Street Fighter game, but I like how this game's looking. The gameplay and general character put in this game looks great. This might be something that I should pick up to get more into hardcore fighting games. I mean, playing Jigglypuff and Smash is kinda hardcore, except it's a disadvantage on you, and only you. No offense, Jigglypuff players. You're offended, aren't you? Tunic looks decent. I just don't have much to say about it, honestly. Final Fantasy 16, to me, looks okay, but it is 100% not for me. I don't know, man. Even as a non-Final Fantasy fan, something like 7 Remake and 15 kind of look better than me, but I may be completely wrong, and that is just my opinion, so don't crucify me. Okay, so that was it, and I think we got some pretty good peaks of stuff. Some of the more indie-type titles and the Capcom stuff really hit it out of the park. But besides that, this conference was kind of okay, but it definitely wasn't terrible. They definitely had stuff to show. And it was pretty short and sweet, so there's not much to complain about from Sony. Next up is Sonic Central. Spoiler alert, it was not good. It starts out with Sonic Origins, which we've gotten looks at before, so this is basically nothing new, but let me tell you, this collection was great. Fully remade versions of 1, 2, CD, 3, and Knuckles running on Sonic Mania's engine. So running off Sonic Mania's engine, then you know it's going to play pretty well. And it has different modes, such as a mirror mode and boss rush. Different tasks to do on different levels, and you can play as Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles across all 4 games. And animation for cutscenes. So, yeah, this is shaping out to be a solid collection. It's just, we've already seen it extensively before the showing. New stuff in a Sonic Roblox game. Okay, this doesn't need to be in the presentation. It's a Roblox game. There's not much exciting about this. Movie-themed characters in Sonic Dash. The mobile game. Which is okay, but again, doesn't need to be in the showing. The new Sonic Netflix show, Sonic Prime, which basically confirmed that Shadow's in it, and that's like, kinda it. It would probably be fine if we had a lot more solid announcements before this, but it's incredibly short and doesn't really need to be here because it's just adding a smaller pointless section to the showing. So that's pointless announcement number 3. A trailer for Blu-ray and digital release of Sonic Movie 2, which doesn't need to be here. Pointless announcement number 4. Merchandise, pointless announcement number 5. Sonic Symphony, a live playing of Sonic music, which is actually pretty cool because they're doing it across the world. Sonic Fall Guys collab, which is okay, but you guessed it, is pointless announcement number 6. An animated special showing the events before Sonic Frontiers, which looks like 5 seconds of Knuckles looking at a Chaos Emerald. This is way too short. Stop showing animated Sonic content in such short bursts like this, Sega. Now we get a gameplay reveal of Sonic Frontiers, and it looks decent, but we have very little context to what's really going on here. And they revealed they're showing more gameplay for IGN, which is really weird move, because when we first got footage from IGN, it polarized the Sonic community. It's also the reason why we're getting so skeptical of the game now. So nice going, Sega. You done screwed up.
It's definitely the first time.
And that was it. That was incredibly disappointing. Most of the announcement here were either promotions of Sonic merchandise and media, and about 5% on games. And even then, Sonic Origins has been shown a lot before this event, so there's no point to showing it again. Honestly, this event is so pointless, like, there was no reason Sega had to do this.
At least we're getting shirts.
Okay, now, Summer Games Fest 2022, which is the 3rd Summer Games Fest, and it's definitely been an okay showing again, but not really the most ideal. But we're getting it again, and spoiler alert, it also wasn't very good. Street Fighter 6, which still looks pretty good, and a generally good start to the show. Then we get a look at an Aliens game. It looks okay, it's generally inoffensive, it just doesn't really elicit a reaction. Close to Protocol, again, this really does feel like a Sony State of Play June 2022 sequel right now. Modern Warfare 2 looks decent. I mean, I like Modern Warfare 2019's campaign, so this might turn out pretty good, but it's still Call of Duty through and through. Saints Row looks okay. I've never really been the biggest fan of Saints Row, so I'm basically just saying with a I don't really care, but I decently respect it kind of face. A movie with The Rock in it. It's at Summer Games Fest.
Wait, this is called Summer Games Fest? I thought it was called The Rock Fest.
DLC for a game called Outriders, yes. I didn't know this game existed. Better yet, it was getting DLC. Fall Guys trailer. I don't know, man. I guess Fall Guys being hyped up a lot recently, but a lot of the additions are like constants, and I don't really get how to get excited for that. I mean, it's also becoming free to play, and it's also becoming to other platforms, that's PlayStation, but yeah. I guess it's a fun announcement, just not that special, really. CGI trailer for another space game. I'm getting deja vu from literally a few minutes before this. Goat Simulator 3. I didn't even know there was Goat Simulator 2. I mean, Goat Simulator 1 was dumb fun, so I may have some more dumb fun if things aren't too similar to it first. Midnight Suns. It's a Marvel card game.
I don't care. Why don't you like my interests?
Cuphead DLC. This is actually a great part of the show, and that's something I haven't gotten to say since the first announcement.
I love video games.
Warframe. I don't care. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge is a very fun beat 'em up. I've actually played it. It's pretty fun. It's definitely a standout of the show, which this is the third.
I love video games.
One Piece Odyssey. Again about the anime thing, I just don't care.
Learn to like anime. Will you shut up about it? Okay, I shut up about it. Will you learn now? No.
The Quarry and Mario Strikers both came out the day after the show, yet they still showed them, which I think is really pointless, even if I kinda do like what they're showing in Mario Strikers. Even if it's unfinished too. Fear of Fears, a game that is getting a remake. It is a PS4 and Xbox One game. Why are PS4 and Xbox One games getting remakes already? What is the point of that? Gotham Knights. A CGI trailer.
Wow, I love that. I can play none of this.
The Last of Us news with concept for a multiplayer game and a remake of the first. This is so pointless. Why would you make a remake of this game? Like, the first Last of Us was just 9 years ago. So yeah, this was not good. This show basically proved why E3 should come back, because it's just a different mashup of things, and it's a little too mismatched and random, and honestly, this is the worst conference so far. So now we have Xbox, which I feel, no matter what, will pass this in quality. But honestly, it's not a high bar to cross. We start off with a look at Redfall, and it looks decent, but I'm probably not going to play it. But it definitely doesn't look bad. Then they showed Hollow Knight Silksong, which doesn't have a release date, but I'm not going to lie, it looks pretty good. High on Life is a game made by the people who made Rick and Morty, and it looks okay. I just know it for being the game with funny guns. A Plague Tale Requiem is shown for the second Xbox show in a row, and we actually see some gameplay this time, because last year, we got a freaking CGI trailer. But yeah, it looks okay. Nothing more to say. Forza Motorsport is showcased, and they show a heck ton of the graphics, and yeah, they look good, but it just kind of looks like another Forza Motorsport to me. They do add a day and night cycle, but on the surface, it's not really much more. They say it adds more drama to races. It just turns nighttime. What drama is involved in that? Like, explain to me. What is going to be different about a day and night cycle? How is this bringing drama? How? Why?
It's a Forza race, but darker.
Flight Simulator 40th anniversary stuff. Okay. Overwatch 2 looks okay, but doesn't look too different from the original, and if I'm not captured by the first, I'm certainly not captured by the second. A bit of Bethesda stuff for Elder Scrolls Online and Fallout 76. I don't care anymore. Forza Horizon Hot Wheels DLC, which looks pretty good, but I'm probably not gonna get it. Arc 2 is Arc 2. Scorn is Scorn. Minecraft Legends is a really different kind of Minecraft game. It's like this action-adventure type game. I love what I'm seeing of it. Lightyear Frontier just looks like No Man's Sky, like blatantly. And Fire Reborn is a game where you shoot people as animals.
All of 2,000 Xbox Series X's, please.
The Last Case of Benedict Fox.
Yeah, that'll be 5,000 more.
As Dusk Falls looks weird, but kind of in a bad way. I'm just not a big fan of the art style, especially when these car shots are in full 3D, and then it cuts to this. It just feels really jarring, and it's really weird. Grounded gets a full release announcement, and it looks pretty good, and I really need to play this game. Diablo 4 looks mid to me, but I don't know, I'm not a big fan of these types of games unless they have a Minecraft Dungeons coded paint. Sea of Thieves Season 7 looks okay, and the song they seem to introduce it's kind of fun. Persona 3 Portable, Persona 4 Golden, and Persona 5 Royal are all coming to Game Pass on Xbox and PC, and I kind of find that pretty interesting. I may check them out. Hideo Kojima, known for games like Silent Hill and Metal Gear, is doing something with Xbox. We don't know what, we just know he's doing something with Xbox. And finally, for the big announcement of the show, the one we've all been waiting for, Starfield! And I gotta say, this is a pretty good looking game, but it honestly just looks like a stereotypical Bethesda game, you know? But in space, and a little spruced up. It looks like No Man's Sky in some places, so this may be a good game. It just looks like some already existing space games on the market. And you probably know what Space Games, because that was literally the entire lineup of Summer Games Fest. So it was Xbox. It had some pretty good stuff, and some I'll forget 2 seconds later, but honestly, that'll be a problem with Xbox showcases probably forever, but I can't deny the good stuff hit hard. Capcom, now, this is not really something I was expecting too much from, but I was holding out hope that we'd at least get something cool announced here. We started off Monster Hunter Sunbreak, which looks decent. I mean, I still want to check out Rise of the Whole, but I don't know if it'll grab me or not. Street Fighter 6 was good, but this is the third time I had to say that. Capcom Arcade 2 looks okay, but it's got some Street Fighter and Mega Man stuff on there, so that's pretty cool. Extra Primal looks fine. Not quite my cup of tea, but definitely looks like it's one of the games announced here. Dragon's Dogma 10th anniversary. Terrible. There isn't a single dog in this trailer. It's time to riot. Resident Evil Village DLC, which looks decent and a pretty good deal for DLC. The RE4 remake. This is the same trailer shown at the PlayStation event. I crap you not. They talk a little bit about it, but there's nothing new here, man. I kinda hate that. And we end with the announcement that Biohazard 2 and 3 remakes are getting next-gen upgrade. Okay, cool, great. Yeah, that was an okay presentation, but there was barely anything new here, so I can't really rank it high compared to Sony or Microsoft. Now, I didn't watch Final Fantasy because I don't really care. If you want an opinion on that on the internet, I'm not the one to ask.
Man, I'm just gonna ask you. I can only do so many things. Yeah, you watched the Capcom presentation where there was only one thing that you actually cared about? You don't have to mention that.
Finally, we have a Nintendo Direct.
Alright, what will it be?
A Xenoblade Nintendo Direct.
I'm sorry, what?
Okay, I didn't watch this, but it seems to look cool, and most agree that this looks like a good game, but doesn't 100% hook me. But now, we finally get a Nintendo Direct.
Alright, let's go.
A Direct Mini Partner Showcase.
Why are you the way that you are, Nintendo? Just why?
While I may be a little peeved that we don't get a proper Direct, a Partner Showcase may have cool stuff within it. Plus, Nintendo's summer already is really packed, with Fire Emblem Warriors 3 hubs, and Xenoblade 3, so a Nintendo Direct in September for stuff later in the year, and if you skip summer, it wouldn't hurt you too much. I still kinda wonder if we would've gotten a normal Direct if E3 actually happened, because I feel like Nintendo really likes to follow tradition. So yeah, on to Direct. It starts off with Sunbreak again, and just copy and paste what I said at the Capcom presentation. I have nothing new to say about this. Nier Automata End of Yora Edition looks fine. Probably not my kind of game, but again, fine. Lorelei and the Laser Eyes looks cool. A pretty creative concept. It may be cool. Super Bomberman R2 is pretty exciting. Hopefully it won't be as bare bones as the first, but even then, the first was pretty much Bomberman, which is still good, so this will probably elicit some kind of fun either way you slice it. Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection is exciting because they're getting deeper into Mega Man's back catalog, which is pretty cool and exciting for Mega Man fans. Pac-Man World Remake. Oh man, this looks good. Honestly, so glad they're revisiting World. I'm just super excited for this because they basically just ignored its existence for the past 20 years. But yeah, this looks awesome. One looks like a pretty creative co-op game in its art style, and puzzles, and definitely a good one here. Return to Monkey Island is not really something that I'm excited for, but I heard these games are pretty good, so there's probably a lot of people excited for this. Mario + Rabbids Sparks of Hope is actually the closest to an actual Nintendo announcement, but it makes more sense because it's made by Ubisoft. But yeah, that looks pretty decent. It also reminds me that I still have yet to finish the first, but I may just skip to this one because I'm too lazy. I could also stop watching the Capcom presentation, but the mouse is too hard to click. Hey, there's something for everyone on the Nintendo Switch area of the Direct, which is always so confusing to me, because they're just gonna show 3 games in one single area of the Direct. It's just so weird, and I kinda wish they wouldn't keep doing that. That looks okay. Railgrade. I can't believe we finally have a train game on Switch. I've been waiting so long. An RPG where you draw it. It looks like an amazing concept for an RPG. Consider me intrigued. Sonic Frontiers. This is a better trailer than what Sega put out. That is honestly really funny to me. Sega does what Nintendo don't? Yeah, Sega doesn't make good trailers. I'm also showing more places in the game. I mean, it's not much more, but it confirms that there will be more than just a basic grassland, and that's pretty exciting. Disney Dreamlight Valley is like Kingdom Hearts without the story or the good. But more on Minecraft Legends in terms of gameplay, and yeah, it still looks good. Still pretty excited for it. Then the Portal Collection is on Switch today. That's cool. And I believe it's the first Valve game on Switch, and I may be wrong, but it might be the first Valve game on a Nintendo console. Or, if I'm wrong, at least in a long time. The Persona's launched on Switch the same day as Xbox, and yeah, that's really cool that we're getting a little bit more Persona content on other consoles. I like that. Yeah, that was all, and I gotta say, that was a pretty good Direct. It was definitely a decent substitute for a normal Direct, and even if it was one, we also got Pac-Man World Remake, Mega Man Battle Network Collection, and Marvel's Rabbids. And some of the smaller ones like Blanc kept me going. So yeah, that was the E3 without E3. And had some low moments and some high moments. Not much in between. Like, I think the big three did what they needed to do, and did it really well too. And Sega flopped, and Capcom was Capcom. If I were to rate this, I would rate this an NMW for Needs More Wario out of 10.
You woke me up just to have that conclusion.
Shut up, please.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go to sleep, and probably for a couple extra hours, because you just wasted my time. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
You better appreciate this video. This took 2 edits, and it's lagging so much right now. Oh my god.